Hello and welcome back. We are continuing with day 4 of the Python Web Conference, and with me now is Stephen Kolawole, and he is a machine learning engineer. He is going to be talking to us about Streamlit, the fastest way to build data apps. So with that, over to you, Stephen.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you for the introduction. Okay, hello everyone. As Kim said, I'll be speaking on Streamlit, which is currently the fastest way to build data apps. Uh, yeah, I'll be sharing my screen right now to show my slides. All right. Okay, yeah. So once again, my name is Stephen Kolawole, and I'm so excited to be here at Python Web Conference 2021. It's such a great privilege to be here. And then in this talk, we'll be talking about the problem statement. You know, why we need uh, something like Streamlit in the first place, and then I'll try and deconstruct what Streamlit is all about, and then we'll try and play around with it. You know, install Streamlit and figure out how it works. And also, sorry, okay, yeah. So I'll also be, we'll also build a data app right now, and I'm going to walk you through the process of how to make use of Streamlit. And then we'll also have sneak peek at the different use cases, different apps that have already been built with Streamlit. And finally, we'll be discussing the cons of Streamlit and why Streamlit might not be the ultimate solution to all data apps problem. Okay, so yeah, it's about me. I'm a machine learning engineer, and I'm currently freelancing, so I do contract works these days. And then I'm also a computer science undergrad, currently in my third year, and I consider my software, my technical skills to be somewhere in the intersection between software engineering and data science. And I've been a Liverpool FC fan since I was a kid. I'm a Python freak too. I use Python for most of my works, for data science, for machine learning, and of course for web development also. And yeah, I like good food. Yeah, so that also counts about me. All right. So here's the problem statement. If you've gone through the process of building a data-driven web app before, here's how the process always, goes. So the first thing is the data mining, the data analysis, and data pre-processing stage, and of course, those are usually done in notebooks, and well, they are quite messy, you know. Yeah, so it's nice. It's actually logical to make use of notebooks, you know, for data analysis and making use of Python scripts. And the next is to copy and paste the relevant functions in a Python script. And then the next step is to create an app, all right, via Flask mostly, and then or Fast API, yeah, and then you can, and if you're building an app, you need to know of HTML, of CSS, JavaScript, and JSON, all right, and then also you need to, that is if your app is going mainstream, all right. Let's say the app is not just for you and your colleagues, and the app is now something you want to release to the general mainstream, then you need to plan out the UI UX development. All right, you need to outline the requirements, and most times you probably won't be the one to do this by yourself. You probably have a dedicated software engineering team in your organization, and of course you could hand over this to them to take care of. And once you've outlined the requirement and the UI UX designing part is taken care of, then the software engineering team would probably create a state-of-the-art app, and they'll tell you, you know, the lot of app they are maintaining at present. So probably they will only be able to carry out updates on your app once in 3 months or so, but it won't be as frequent as you would probably like. All right, so yeah, the pain point. Uh, Depending on the software engineering team, usually take up a bunch of our time. having to wait on the software engineering team to quit time for you, to build your app, and having to get back to them to carry out updates. The to and fro communication is not usually very pleasant, and yeah, we can't create new features and updates as much as we would like, because the software development team have lots of stuff they're doing. And of course, we could probably create those apps ourselves if we are familiar with web development, but most of us, we are not particularly artsy. If you're like me, I can't recognize a blue color from the purple color. Yeah, so yeah, lots of us sucks at UI designs. Yeah, we prefer to use our code to analyze or build apps, build stuff, that focus on creating design with our code. Okay, yeah. So the next point is that creating web apps usually consume a huge amount of time. You could spend something within the frame of several hours to several days or even weeks on a single app. And of course, the learning curve also is quite great. Apart from you having to master Flask, which is not really hard to master, you need to bother with JavaScript, with HTML, CSS, and the likes. And of course, you would need a dedicated, period of time, to get this done. And finally, okay, I've mentioned this. Most of us would prefer to use our code to derive analysis or build models rather than use it to provide user with aesthetic experience. Okay, having said that, so that leads to the million-dollar question. What if we could build apps as easily as writing Python scripts? Of course, it will make the world easier for every one of us. Yeah, so that leads us to Streamlit. Okay, yeah, so what is Streamlit? Streamlit is let me say Streamlit is the app that data scientists have been waiting for. With Streamlit, you build apps as easily as writing Python scripts. Um, for example, you're going to have a Python script, and then you just sprinkle in a few API calls, a few Streamlit functions into your existing Python script, and off you go, and your app will be ready for you in your browser. All right. So it sounds too good to be true, actually, but I would make a performance later on, so you'd get to see how it works. And also, the most of the UIs that we make use of or that would need in in data apps are already be taken care of by Streamlit. Talk about having your titles, talk about having a sidebar, having a select icon button and stuff like that. Those are things that usually come ready-made with Streamlit. And yeah, Streamlit also supports multiple interaction visualization libraries. I'm talking about our visualization libraries like Matplotlib, like Seaborn, Bokeh, Plotly. Yeah, so Streamlit supports every one of them out of the box. And yeah, so having mentioned the why you should probably need to make use of Streamlit, so let me show you through the installation process. First of all, you need to pip install Streamlit. Is a Python package, and most Python package can be installed via pip or conda. So all you need to do is pip install Streamlit, and once you're done with that, you could try out Streamlit Hello to run it, and this will pop up on your browser. I'm going to try out this demo right now. I mean, I'm going to show you how it works. So, oh, all right. So, I already have Streamlit installed on my browser, so I don't I don't have to do pip install Streamlit. I already have it installed on my machine. Sorry about that error. Okay, yeah. So I will just check the version so we can be sure. Um, oh, okay, yeah. So I have it on my PC. So I'm going to try out Streamlit. Hello. I expect it to pop up on my browser. Okay, here we go. All right, so you could see welcome to Streamlit. Streamlit is an open source app framework. This is mainly explaining the idea of what Streamlit is all about, and of course the links to check out the documentations to the community forums, which are quite helpful. Uh, okay, yeah, so there are also links to complex demos. So I'm just going to try out one of the simple demos right now. All right. So you can see that this is an animation of a of a plot. All right. Yeah. So you could. This is me zooming in and zooming out. All right. So you could save as a as an image if you want to make use of it later. There are also other functions you could probably try out. Um, okay. Hold on. Um, okay, I was trying to shift the zoom picture, but I guess I can't. Okay, yeah. So having done that, you could try out all the other demos right here on your own. They are quite, straightforward. You could try out any one of them you wish to try out. Here's an animation demo. Okay, so you can try this out later. Okay, so that's it about installing uh, Streamlit. So now let me walk you through the process of building a simple data app with Streamlit. For example, let's say this is a file, a Python file called hello.py. All right. So you could try out something like import Streamlit as st, and the following line you could try out st.write hello world. So this is just a simple demonstration that is going to print out this in your browser. Of course, to run Streamlit, you need to write out this following line of bash command: Streamlit run hello.py, and it's going to load that up in your browser. I'm going to try that out right now for you to see. So I already have the hello.py. I already have the hello.py file right here. And of course, I've import Streamlit as st, and I'm using this simple write function of Streamlit with the string hello world. So I could go over to my browser and try it out. Python say no Streamlit run hello.py. All right, so it's currently coming up. Okay, so by now I have it in my browser, hello.org. And of course, this is simple. We did this in 2 lines of code. If you're familiar with Flask, this is something you will do in about 7 lines of code. All right. Yeah. So let me just show you a more complex demonstration before we move on. Okay. So this is I call it disto.py. All right. So, what this app is doing, let me just try and walk you through why I have this file. I have this younger sister who is learning data science, and at some point while she was learning about the different distribution, the different statistical distribution. So she was finding it a little bit hard to comprehend because reading a textbook doesn't really work for most people. So I thought that, okay, what if she could see what she's trying to read, I mean, see it in an image or animation, and see play around with it. It's going to make her learning more fun. So so that's why I have this script. And in this script, I'm making use of Streamlit and NumPy. All right. So the first line, I think this is quite self-explanatory. I'm having a title called distribution tester, and then I'm having this write function. Pick a distribution from the list, and we shall draw the line chart from a random sample from the distribution. And so, okay, the next line I have a variable called keys, and is a list with normal and uniform in it. All right. So the next line, um, I'm having a function called select box with two arguments. The first argument is is a string, something to display out which distribution do you want to plot, and the argument is keys. The keys is the variable containing the containing normal and uniform right here. Okay, so I now say that if this key is equals to normal, then we should have a single randomly generated number within the range of 0 to 1000. But if this key selected by the user is uniform, we should have an array of length 1000 in the with numbers in the range of 0 to 100. Then the last line is a simple line chart to demonstrate, which of these conditional statements was followed. Okay, yeah. So having written the script, I'll now go off to my browser and then try out Streamlit on distro.py. All right, so I'm going to run this line now. Oh, okay. So right now I have my distribution tester up. All right. So you can see our title right here, distribution tester, and you could see the st.write string, pick a distribution from the list and we shall blah blah. So here is my select box, and you could see normal. If I click on it, you could see uniform also. And you remember the line chart towards the end. Here is it. All right, this is for the normal distribution. And if I click on uniform, this is going to change. And you can see that the line chart is different. Now, this is a very simple demonstration of how Streamlit, how you could implement data apps with Streamlit. And as you can see, I think we did this in how many lines of code? Okay, we did this in 16 lines of code. You can bet that if you're doing this with Flask, it's going to cost you at least twice this number of codes. And of course, you won't be making use of Flask alone. You need to make use of HTML and CSS also for some styling. All right, so I think with this, I should have been able to convince you, about the goodness of Streamlit. So let's move on to the different use cases of Streamlit. Okay, yeah. So we have this. Um, so this Streamlit demo lets you perform semantic search across the entire Audacity self-driving car photo data set, visualize human annotation, go to labels, and run a complete neural network neural net in real time from within the app in less than 300 lines of code. In less than 300 lines of code. I think this is pretty much amazing. And yeah, this demo was created by the Streamlit team themselves, and I have run this before, and it's quite amazing. I mean, mind blowing. You've been able to run this by yourself. I mean, it's something you could implement in minutes or hours of code, and you having to see the result of your data analysis of machine learning, in very few lines of code, something you could spin up in a very few minutes, and you could see the result of your work. I mean, you don't need to build a Flask app or try to push your app in production. You could test your app multiple times with Streamlit, without even pushing to production yet. And I think that is extremely amazing. I'm going to show us this later on. Okay, so let me go over to my browser so we could check out more of this. Okay. Um, I'm trying to. You shouldn't worry about my files. I have a GitHub repo which is here, and I'm going to drop the link in the Zoom call later on. Okay, yeah. So this is it. Let me open it up. All right. Yeah. So here's the repo. You could clone it if you want to. I don't know, maybe advance it, make it better, or want to, try out different tweaks. You could clone this repository and try it out on your own. But if you just want to run it, here is the instruction on how to run it. All right. So this link will be dropped later on, so you can check it out on your own. Here is another one. This was built by a friend of mine called Muyosola, and is a house renting pricing app. All right. So is that the discovers that if you're in a new city, in Lagos, Nigeria, I'm based in Nigeria. All right, and then let's say you are in Lagos, Nigeria for the first time. Housing is usually a huge problem for people, especially when you don't know your way around. Um, okay, yeah. So he built this app, and yeah, people can be greedy at times. If they notice that you don't know your way around, they could probably, hike the price, hike the price of apartments. Yeah, people do that a lot. And yeah, so what this app basically is doing is to give you estimates of uh, of locations or of apartments in specific locations with your specific preferences in any part of Lagos State. Lagos State is like the major city in Nigeria. All right, so if here is a select um, here is a um, here is a location selectables, and you could see different house in you could see different locations in this list. Okay, so we'll go with Lekki, and of course, you could choose the type of area you want to live in. Low income range, middle range one, middle range two. I'll go with middle range one for now. I could choose two number of bedrooms and then two numbers of bedroom, two bathrooms. Um, okay, yeah. So, do you want to live in an estate? Let's say no. Let's just leave everything as default for now. And then I'm going to press this evaluate button. All right. So you could see the estimate of the house right here, and it's estimated at 1,965,000 naira. Yeah. So I think this app is quite amazing. When he launched this web app back then, most of us gave reviews. I mean, very pleasant reviews about this uh, because new entrants in the city, in Lagos City, getting cheated out of the apartment rates is actually a very common problem in this part of the world. And yeah, this app, actually eliminates that issue effectively. Okay, yeah. So this is another use case, something you could do with Streamlit, which would be nice and great. All right. So finally, let's have a look at Streamlit Gallery. So the Streamlit Gallery is simply, just as the name says, is a gallery, and it contains uh, it contains applications built by Streamlit developers all over the world. Is a website where Streamlit get to showcase most of the best applications that have been built by Streamlit. All right, it's still loading up. Um, it's taking a while to load. Uh, okay, it's taking a while to load. I don't understand why actually. Okay, since it's not loading up, I guess we could move on. I will include the link. I will drop the link in the Google in the Zoom call, so you could check it out on your own. but it contains lots of amazing, super amazing apps that have been built by Streamlit developers all over the world. All right, so let's move on. Okay, yeah, so finally, let's talk about um, the cons of Streamlit. Why Streamlit might not be the ultimate solution to every data apps problem out there. So the first is the convenience flexibility trade-off. One of the strengths of Streamlit is that most of the UI, most of the UIs that do come were installed. Uh, yeah, that's one of its strengths, but the strength can easily also be a weakness. Sorry about that noise. The strength can also be a weakness in the sense that uh, because most of them are pre-installed, you don't get to be flexible with what you want. For example, you might want to add in other stuff that don't come out of the box, like you placing to chart side by side, or you placing to placing a chart, within another chart. You don't get to be flexible with Streamlit, all right? Because most of what you need are actually we installed, with Streamlit, and you can't just change things anyhow. And another stuff is the size of the data input. You cannot upload a data that is higher, that's its size is higher than 50 megabytes. If you're dealing with large files like videos, if you're dealing with large files like videos, this might actually be a problem for you. And also, there's limited support for videos and animation. And lastly, you can build an app with functionalities like user authentication, newsletter subscription, having a chatbot, or having a message room in your mailbag. Streamlit doesn't allow for all this. If you need to include this kind of complex functionalities, you will need to make use of maybe Flask or Django to get that done. All right, and even still, it is simple enough to use for every programmer. It doesn't matter about your level of Python programming, in as much as functions is you're good enough to go. And it is superb if you want an interactive data app quickly. For example, let's say I personally, while working on some NLP projects a while ago, I just want to spin it up and see how it's going to work. Just have a view of how my work is progressing. And I built that with Streamlit in less than 20 minutes of code. I didn't push it into production, or I would have shown you the app. All right. So yeah, so that's one of the goodies of Streamlit. It doesn't matter about your level of proficiency with Python, and then when you need to just spin up something very quickly, play around, tweak around, Streamlit is best for stuff like that. And yeah, we also have a look. We'd also have a look at the skill set needed of a Flask developer as compared to a a Streamlit developer. For one, if you're to become a full stack Flask developer, you need to know of Flask, uh, and at the very least, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and JSON. But if a full stack Streamlit developer, all you need to make use of is Streamlit. And if you're thinking of containerizing your app, then you might need to know Docker too. And that's the only two things you ever need as a full stack Streamlit developer. Streamlit, Streamlit, and Docker. All right. So having said that, we are done with this talk. Um, Thank you very much for taking your time to listen to this talk. You can say hi to me on Twitter at Steve the Dev, and also you could say hello or connect with me on LinkedIn at Steven Kolawole -80. All right, so I'm done. Thank you for your time.